want to give a little background, like, so in 2000 and, see, somebody told me when you throw out dates, you're old, so, or you're getting older, so, probably 2003, I started journaling. Okay, so I wrote about every single game I pitched in from 2003, my last game ever played. And this is actually how I understood how my mind worked. And what I found out was that in all my best performances, I wrote down that I breathed well. I was in control of my breathing. Two, I always found out that I had an edge that day. There was something that made me mad, or gave me a little bit of, energy or whatever. I would pick out, some of it was false, I'd fake it a little bit, but I try to whatever. Carlos Delgado, man, he looks at me wrong every time. And it would just, I try to create an edge. Some of it, when it was natural, it was actually very beneficial. I noticed that my thoughts were simple. I thought of what pitch I was going to throw and where I was going to throw it. Those are my only two thoughts. I want to go fastball in, okay. Curveball, no. Fastball away. Well, actually, I stared when I went to the other side, so I stared, fastball in, boom. I'm set, made my pitch. Regardless of results, when I pitched at my best, I did not care for the results. I didn't care about them because I don't have control of the umpire, I don't have control of the hitter, I don't have control of my fielders. That's when my thoughts were at my best, when I just tried to hit my spot. That was it. So I find this out over years. It took me a lot of years. So now moving into game 7 of the National League Championship Series. Okay, I always had a good vibe at Shea Stadium. I actually pitched well against the Mets most of my career, but it was a different team. Okay, they had different players. They were hot, and I never really paid attention. Like if there was nobody in the stands, I could hear that one guy yelling at me. But when there's a lot of people, you couldn't hear it, it's just a buzz. Shea Stadium was probably the loudest I'd ever heard for an open air arena. Usually like Houston, whatever it's called, Enron or Minute Maid. That was I used to have to put cotton in my ear on the bench because they used to pipe in music. But open air stadiums weren't always that loud, but that was incredibly loud. And everyone was waving their towels. And people call them maniacal fans, right? So everyone is against us. They have the momentum. Okay, we're actually in a one-run ball game. We're losing one. I think I gave a 1 in the first, and then Scott Rowland, one of my good friends on the team, hits a bomb and he robs it. Now we go into the next inning. The funny thing is that when you perform, you don't always remember pitch by pitch because you're in a flow state. You're above the zone. People laugh at me, but there's a zone. There's a level above the zone. It's the flow. That's where actually your thoughts are just happening. But I was in it and I wasn't fighting it. I was just letting it happen. I have to be honest. I prayed a lot during that inning. But so basically, what my strongest thought, okay, that I remember was that I never went off of one pitch at a time. I never went off of choose the right pitch and locate it. I'm going to give you 2 little nuggets in that inning. Jose Valentin raked me. He hit me pretty well. He hit my changeup and my curveball a lot. Okay, and my fastball when I left it up. His at bat before that, I spiked a curveball and hit him right in the chin. I mean, I was like a 45-footer. Boom! He gets hit in the chin, and he is like hurting. And I'm like, oh, dang it! That inning, there's an error. Okay, so now he's coming up, Jose Valentin, in this at bat, and Yachty keeps giving me curveball. I'm like, nah, no. Gave it to me 3 times. Okay. So pitcher-catch relationship, I'm calling the game, but I'm using him too. It might come from the bench too, I don't know. But I'm the ultimate one throwing the ball. So I chose, once he gave it to me 3 times, you have that much confidence? Then I do. Boom. Came set, threw a hammer. And I didn't have a hammer, but I threw a hammer and I ended up striking him out. Couldn't believe it. Okay? But I didn't get high. I didn't get too high right there, so I brought myself back. Now I have bases loaded, ultimate. And Andy Chavez is up. And here's my inner thoughts. Okay, Andy Chavez just robbed that home run. He's expecting to do something great. okay, so what do I have? I can go fastball down and away. I know he's going to be aggressive. Everybody wants him to do well. I can throw a fastball down and away, but if I throw a fastball down and away, these are my internal thoughts right on the mound. He's going to hit a number off the end. But if I know he's going to swing the first pitch, so if I come up and in, he can have it. If I miss, he can put some good wood on it. But I could jam him too, because a lot of times when hitters are aggressive, they go out. So when I know when guys want to hit me well, I mean, they're going out to try to pull. The guys always had the tough times with the guys with the soft hands that just try to make contact, because I'm a contact pitcher. So Andy's up, I chose fastball up and in, bases loaded, 2 outs, game 7, all right? I'm hitting the spot, fastball up and in. Boom! I believed it was fastball up and in. I believed he was going to pop up. I thought he was going to pop up to the second baseman. He ended up popping up to the center fielder. And I threw the ball right down the middle. But I believed that I was going to throw it up and in, he was going to jam it up. Those are my 2 thoughts from that night. I don't know, because it was, and I've only watched that game twice, and it took me about 5 years to watch that game. But that inning was the inning. And I just basically, I went to my routine. I personally believe that routines aid performance. Superstitions take away from your performance. Routines aid your performance. So I was gonna bring it back to the basics, everything I worked on, and I was gonna let it happen. And I was okay as long as I executed what I wanted to do. If you hit a home run, I got hey, good for you. I'm happy you didn't, but if you did, I hit my spot and I'm gonna move on. Okay, because the hardest part is that when they're little kids or even adults, if you are emotionally attached to any event, it will be with you the rest of your life. If you let it go, like that base running mistake I had in the 2004 World Series, I'm not emotionally attached to it. But if I did, it'd still be with me. I can't go back and change it. That home run, that grand slam up I gave up to Mike Piazza, my first game ever at Dodger Stadium, I gave up like 8 runs. If I was emotionally attached to it, it would still affect me. But you have to give it up, because you can never go back. Stats are never going to change. Okay? But I was able to accept the outcome, and that's probably, and I allowed myself to be super simple, and I think that's what got me through that game. So.